sa kanyang salin. Ibig po sabihin ay may batayan ang figures na nakalagay sa kanyang salin. Kaya po namin pinipresenta yan ngayon. Okay. Ang encumbrance po, ang sa salita po natin, tayong mga ordinaryong tao, kasi po very legal yung term encumbrance. Yan po ay tinatawag na burden. Para pong lien yan. Naku, sabi ninyo, legal pa rin. Yung para bang nagkakaroon siya ng konting pabigat sa iyong titulo. Okay. Or
susubukan kong ipaliwanag din. Ito yung mga bagay na nakakaapekto doon sa pag-aari ng property or ari-arian. Kunwari, may makita kang titulo, tapos may nakamarka doon, mortgage to, kunwari kahit anong kung isang bangko. Ibig sabihin, yung may-ari ng property, pag makita yon sa title niya, alam na kahit sino na baka gustong bumili, na yung title na ito, yung doon sa, yung property na iyon ay maaaring kunin ng bangko kung saan naka-mortgage yung property na yon pag hindi nabayaran yung utang. Isang halimbawa yan ng encumbrance. Nung hindi, oo. Kaya may mga bagay nga na umuulit kasi syempre, nung prinisinta sila ng prosecution, pinili lang nila yung mga bagay na may relasyon doon sa gusto nilang ipalabas sa impeachment court, yung gusto nilang patunayan, na hindi necessarily yung buong storya. Kaya nga yun yung dati pa naming sinasabi, na antayin nyo naman kami magpresenta rin nung aming bahagi ng storya kasi ang nakikita nyo lang ay yung kalahati pa lamang.
Alam niyo po, maganda po yung obserbasyon na yan. Yan rin naman po ay matagal na rin naming pananaw. Ngunit ang maganda po dito, mapagbibigyan ho kami ng pagkakataon na maipaliwanag ho sa ibang mga senator judges kung ano ho ba ang aming posisyon dito sa usapin, kung ang may problema sa salin, kung ito ho ba ay impeachable offense. So, gagamitin ho namin itong pagkakataon na ito upang maipaliwanag at mailahad ang aming posisyon patungkol ho dito sa issue na kung ang mga entrada ba dito sa salin ay may pagkakamali, ito ba ay nangangahulugan na ito ay impeachable offense. At ang maganda rin ho dito na kinakailangan rin ho siguro nating bigyang diin, ipapakita rin namin po dito na hindi lamang po ang saad ho sa konstitusyon, yung mga grounds, yung mga panuntunan na nakalagay doon sa konstitusyon, ito po ay applicable hindi lamang po sa Chief Justice. Ito po ay applicable hindi lamang sa mga mahistrado. Ngunit ito po ay dapat gampanan at gamitin ng lahat ng mga government officials, elected or appointed. So, yan ho ang malinaw. Hindi ho kasi lagi ho sinasabi na dahil si Chief Justice siya ang punong mahistrado, kailangan iba ang gagamitin sa kanyang standard. Hindi po tama yon, sapagkat yung standards po na nakalatag sa konstitusyon, ito po ay hindi nagbibigay ng distinction. So if the law does not make any distinction, hindi rin naman ho dapat tayong gumawa ng distinction. Bottom line, kailangan po i-apply yung nakaatas sa konstitusyon, hindi lamang po sa Chief Justice, ngunit sa lahat po ng government officials and government employees na involved po doon sa pagsusumite at pag-fill up ng mga SALN forms. Tama po yun. Sapagkat yung panuntunan po sa punong mahistrado, yan din po ang panuntunan sa lahat ng government officials and public officers, appointed or elected. Chief Justice has always been honest up to this point and in the future.
Yung kay Senator Miriam din po, meron siyang binanggit na kaparehong kaso noong 2011. Paano kaya tingin niyo po pa mag-apply doon sa kaso ni CJ?
Marami yung 2011 case. Ano ba yung Plato o yung
Plato?
Opo, malinaw po yan. Siguro bigyang magbalik tanaw lang po tayo. May mga pagkakataon na ho nung unang mga linggo ng paglilitis. Nagkaroon na ho ng discussion regarding whether or not yung hindi tamang entrada sa salin, ito ba impeachable offense? Noon pa lang po, kung maririnig nyo ho, kung maalala nyo ho, diniscuss na ho ng defense team yan, yung Plato, no? So kami po yung naniniwala, unang-una, ang mga tanong lang dito, malinaw ba ang batayan doon sa lumang SALN form? Malinaw ba doon na kinakailangan lahat ng mga blanks, lahat ng mga blanco doon ay kailangan ba lagyan ng entrada, no? Kung hindi malinaw 'yan, ano ngayon ang magiging kaparusahan doon sa isang government official or public government employees kung hindi nga kung hindi nga nalagyan ng entries lahat ng mga blanks doon sa SALN form, no? Ano yung kailangan kaparusahan? Pangatlo, maaari pa ba niyang ayusin to o hindi? Yun yung mga katanungan kasi dito, no? Ngayon, syempre, pilit na sasabihin ng prosecution na hindi naman siya naging truthful, hindi naman siya naging makatotohanan doon sa pagsulat niya doon mga SALN. Ngunit, makikita naman po natin na wala naman malinaw na batayan. Ang lagi nga ho namin sinasabi, wala namang clear-cut indicator on how to enter all or fill up all the entries in the SALN form, on the old SALN form. Kaya po makikita natin, may bago ho ngayong SALN form na pinopropose yung Civil Service Commission. May proposal ho sila. Mas malinaw ho dito sa proposal nila kung ano yung mga kailangan ilagay. Ang ibig sabihin lang po nito, kung nililinaw nila ngayon, kung ano ang mga dapat na makikita doon sa SALN form, ang ibig sabihin lang ho nito, hindi ito malinaw nung luma. Yung lumang SALN form, hindi malinaw, kaya ho kinakailangan silang gumawa ng isang maayos at malinaw na panibagong form para ho hindi na ho magkakaroon ng confusion, no? Hindi na magkakaroon ng alinlangan, hindi lamang po si Chief Justice, kundi lahat ng government officials, lahat ho ng mga government employees, appointed or elected.
Yung presentation nyo ng assessors will refute dun sa half-truth story ng prosecution?
Maganda yung tanong mong yan, ano? Nasabi nga na they've presented their side, kami naman ang kabilang bahagi para makita ang kabuuan and then para mga senator judges ay magkaroon ng complete picture kung paano nila ito huhusgahan. Ngayon, sa ngayon, makikita ninyo na yung assessors pinresenta namin para mapatunayan namin ang assessed value at market value na kinopya lamang ng Chief Justice sa mga dokumentong ito. So makikita po natin na walang ibang pinagbatayan, kundi mismo mga public documents mismo. So hindi po kaya nga kung babalikan yung sinabi ni Senator Miriam kanina, no, sabi niya, alam mo, wala namang maliwanag dun sa batas. Sinabi nga niya, she used the word, yung sinabi niya, conjunctive. Sabi niya, mag-fill up ka lang ng isa doon, assess value, market value, or acquisition cost, tama na. Yun ang sabi niya, hindi po ako nagsabi noon. Yun po ay pinagbabatayan ang mga resolusyon ng Civil Service Commission. At sang-ayon po kami doon. Kanina naman, maganda yung kanyang pagpapaliwanag, binigyan niya ng paalala ang prosecution. Siguro ito dapat ang tutukan ninyo. Binigyan rin niya kami ng mga paalala, ito dapat ang tutukan namin. And we take that. And we welcome that. Kasi naniniwala kami, gaya ng nasabi, yun mismo naman ang aming atake. Yun ang direksyon namin pinupuntahan. Yan po.
Ano po ba yung sa tingin yung standard dapat?
Bayan niyo pong sagutin ko kayo dyan, ano? Yung standard po na binanggit na isa nating senator judge, wala pong ibang standard kundi ang standard na nakalathala sa ating konstitusyon. Ang nakalagay po doon is an objective test. Ano po yun? Kung may culpable violation ka ba ng Constitution? Di po ba? May betrayal of public trust? Nag-commit ka ba ng high crimes? Yun po ay kailangan alamin natin kung anong nasa Constitution. At ang siguro kailangan natin maintindihan, inilalagay ba sa isang mas mataas na posisyon ang Chief Justice kumpara sa kahit kaninong public official? Ibig po ba sabihin nito, katulad ng sinasabi ng prosecution, na ang expectation sa isang Chief Justice ay napakataas? Kaya nga po, bayaan yung banggitin ko ito, no? Meron po ako narinig nitong weekend na a Chief Justice should be whiter than white. Opo, whiter than white. So, kumbaga sa kulay, hindi ka lang maputi, saksakan ka ng puti. Baka nga dapat padagdagan mo riyan yung salitang, yung unblemished, Ganun po, ngayon, hindi po natin sinasabi na hindi dapat because the Constitution provides that a public office is a public trust. Yan po ang sinasabi ng Constitution. Pero sinasabi ba yun na pag ikaw ay may kaunting mantsa, na binato ka ng tao, hindi mo na kayang patunayan. And dahil dito, ano magiging standard natin? Hindi po ba? Ano ba ito? Ang sinasabi nga namin, kami medyo worried. In a sense, ba't worried? Hindi po dahil sa pagpipresenta namin ng kaso. Ngunit sa paraan na ng paglalatag nila. Ngayon tapos na sila. Ngayon po, hindi na sila nagko-concentrate doon po sa tinatawag nating charges, articles. Kasi sabi nila, kung hindi napasok, wala acquisition cost eh. Ang ano mo yon? Dishonest ka. Ganun na yun. So they are now going into a different ball game. Sa tingin ko obserbasyon, ano yung ball game na yun? That is a ball game of ano na yung tinatawag na they're laying a different standard. Yung sinasabi na damaged goods theory. Dahil ibig sabihin, kung ikaw ay may damage na, kahit na maaring hindi mo nagawa yan maaring eventually ma-acquit ka. Pero dahil ikaw ay may dungis na, dahil ikaw ay may mancha na, siguro wala ka ng dahilan. Yun po ang nakikita kong direksyon na tinatakbuhan. So ito po hinaharap namin at pinipilit namin paliwanag. Kasi po hindi ganoon Kasi po kung ganoon, paano na lang tayo? Paano na lang sasabihin, siyempre balik na naman sa amin yan. Iba ang Chief Justice. Ang Chief Justice ay ganoon. Yun nga po ang kailangan malaman. Sabi nga ni Senator Mira, this is part of our history. We are laying the definition of an impeachable offense. Gawin po natin tama. Yun po yan. Hindi ko po sinasabing tama ako. Sinasabi ko lang po ang obserbasyon namin.
And so in short po, you're directly negating yung sinabi po kanina ni Senator Santiago na dapat yung bank accounts po ay ilagay sa SALN.
Wala akong sinabi doon. Ang sinabi yan ni Senator Miriam. Makita mo na sinagot ng aming lead counsel ngayon, no? Si Atty. Botigon. Dahil nga ang ating lead counsel ngayon na si Justice Cuevas ay wala sa ngayong araw na ito, andun si Atty. Botigon, ipinaliwanag niya na hindi po nangangahulugan yun na yung pag hindi paglagay ng specific bangko o account number ay nag-violate ka. Yun po ang usapin dyan Pag naglagay ka ba ng account o pera na corresponding to that, nag-satisfy ka na. Yan ang ating mga sasagutin. At sabi nga niya, depensa kailangan tandaan yung Plato case. Kung sakali nga may pagkukulang, was that done in good faith? If we could prove that, as she mentioned in the case of Plato, it's only simple negligence.
Meron kaming lineup of witnesses kasi ginagawa nga namin systematic yung approach namin dito na meron kaming gustong mga patunayan na facts na may kinalaman nga dito sa bawat articles. Ngayon, nasa Article 2, so iniisa-isa namin yung mga entries sa SALN. Yung pagpresenta ko kay Mrs. Corona, titingnan namin kung kailan siya kakailanganin. Kasi titingnan pa namin kung paano yung magiging takbo ng trial. Pwede namin sabihin na isama na siya this week, but then depende rin kung hanggang saan din maaabot ng trial dates natin within the week.
Karagdagan din lang po. Siguro, gusto ko na rin i-share sa inyo na binanggit naman namin lead counsel. Pero ngayon, syempre, tao lang, napapag-isip siguro, ako kaya'y baka kung ano-anong tanong matanong sa akin. Ako kaya'y mahiya. Alam mo yun? Will I be embarrassed? In the same manner na yun yung isa sa mga concerns namin kay Chief Justice, di po ba, nung simula. Sinabi naman ni Senate President, huwag kayo mag-alala. Hindi mangyayari yan. So, I hope that sana sa kay Mrs. Corona ay ganun din. Kasi po, syempre, ayaw naman namin na pag umupo siya sa witness stand, mapaiyak lamang. Siyempre gusto naman namin, siyempre ang ating nanay ay babae. Katulad natin, siguro hindi natin nakikita na gusto natin ng ating ina na umiyak. Ganun po. Siguro po sa pangkalahatan. Parang siyempre sa tandaan niyo po yan, piniprepare yan kinakausap yan. Ano yung preparasyon? Siyempre concern yan habang lumalapit yan. Natural yan Kasi siyempre, never been on the witness stand, hindi pa natanong. So, kakaiba ho yan. Kahit naman kami, that's a basic concern of a lawyer. You don't want your client to be embarrassed there at the middle of the courtroom. Hindi, hindi niya sinabi eksakto, pero parang may nararamdaman kami pag, alam niyo yan, pagkausap. Na, alam niyo, natural. For every witness po, yan ang kanyang, ang reservation ng isang testigo. Paano kaya mangyayari pag nakaupo na ako sa witness stand? Kasi you're by yourself already. Hindi ka na ma-assista ng abogado mo.
Ano? Pakiulit po. Kailangan po namin alamin, sapagkat ang alam po namin ay hindi po maganda ang kanyang pakiramdam ngayong araw na to. So kami naman po ay umaasa na bukas po ay magiging maayos na po ang kanyang yung karamdaman niyo po. Sana mawala na, no? Para makasama na po natin siya ulit. Alam niyo, personal niya ho na, hindi rin ho namin alam yung ano, no? So maganda ho, tanongin na lang po natin kung yung tao.
Oo. Tsaka si Justice Cuevas naman, kung mapapansin nyo, consistently from the time nagsimula yung prosecution, lagi talaga siyang pumupunta dito. Kahit nga nung super traffic, 'di ba, pumunta pa rin siya. Kaya yung ito unusual sa kanya na talagang pag may nararamdaman na lang siya, yun yung pagkakataon na hindi siya pupunta. At ngayon lang 'to nangyari.
Hindi natin alam, no? Pero kasi naman, alam mo naman si Justice, bihasa sa mga ganyan mga kaso. Kaya lang siyempre may age Ang alam niyo naman, reality yon. Hindi naman siya bata na nakatulad ng iba sa atin, no? He's in his 80s. Alam niyo, alam ko, pag ganun na ka ang edad, pag may naramdaman ka, kahit na konting-konti, ipahinga mo. Madali ang recovery. Kasi pag pinuwersa mong sarili mo, baka mas hindi maganda. Okay. Alin, saan? Yun na nga po sinabi. Kanino na lang namin nalaman. Hinahanap nga namin si Justice. Kasi kadalasan yan, pag dumadating yan, yan ang energizer namin Kakamayan namin. May energy na tayo. Si Justice, Nandyan. Hindi, meron pa rin. Kasi na kami, nabigyan ng baterya na. Opo. Ano po? Hindi, yung aming bagong lead counsel sa araw na to, si Atty. Bodigon. Ayan. Po. Sige po. Pero, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Good afternoon. Okay, nadinig po natin so far today as well as the last few witnesses nila ay really patunay. Wala naman pong bago. No? Lahat po ng prenisinta nila na testigo ay prenisinta na rin po natin patungkol po doon sa mga titulo na nasa pangalan po nila Chief Justice, pati po yung mga titulo sa pangalan ng kanilang mga anak. Siguro linawin lang po natin, no? It's a wonder for us that they're presenting the very same witnesses. In fact, if at all yung mga unang mga testigong presenta nila ay lalo lang napapatunayan para sa amin yung kaso namin. It's helping the prosecution more than the defense as far as what we see. I think what they failed to show, no, today is or explain ay pinatunayan na po at base dun sa huling testigo. Ang anak po ni Chief Justice at ang kanyang asawa ng kanyang anak, si Constantino Castillo at si Carla Corona, ay nag-acquire ng properties over a span of 4.5 years. Nag-acquire ng properties worth 43.5 million pesos. So let's not forget, those properties are all in the name of Christina and Constantino, or just in the name of Christina. We've never disputed that. In fact, that is already our evidence. But what we have shown, if you look at that in consonance with the evidence presented by Commissioner Kim Hinares, is that on the very same year, or on the very same, a year before binili ni Christina, from Christina ni Carla, ng anak nila Chief Justice yung La Vista property for 18 million pesos, ang kinita niya lang or taxable income the previous year based on BIR is less than 10,000 pesos. So it's certainly, as far as we are concerned, it's all in line with the same theory that we have for McKinley Hill na nasa pangalan ni Charina, pero there are 27 monthly installments, reservation agreement, all signed by the Chief Justice and the wife. The payments, all the amortization payments are done through checks of the Chief Justice and his wife. In fact, that's how we uncovered BPI, because yung check payments ang ginagamit. At lumabas lang po yung trust agreement at saka yung handwritten note saying that this property is actually not ours. Pwede bang yung titulo i-issue nyo sa pangalan ng anak namin? Pare-parehong tanong pagdating dun sa 3 properties identified. 43.5 million. 10.5 million for that Cubao lot, 15 million for that Kalayaan, Quezon City property, and 18 million for La Vista. It is correct, yung Kalayaan ay may encumbrance na 12 million na utang sa BPI. Sabihin pa natin, ibawas natin yung 12 million na yon, pero ang inilabas nilang pera nung batang mag-asawa is 31.5 million, and yet their ITR cannot support this income. So in our minds, all the witnesses that they presented today, if they were intended to show that these properties do not belong to the Chief Justice, I don't think it has in any way shown that, because ang pinakita ng ebidensya ay kahalintulad pa rin po ng aming ebidensya. Ang pinakita noon, hindi nila ipinapakita yung capacity to purchase these properties. 43.5 million pesos in a span of 4.5 years, including the 18 million purchase by the daughter from the Chief Justice for 18 million pesos, when in the previous year, her declared taxable income was less than 10,000 pesos. So it really just brings more questions than answers.
Sirs, yung binabanggit ng defense kanina sa press ko nila, damaged good theory na raw ang tinatahak ngayon ng trial. Any reaction on that? Damaged good theory ang binabanggit nilang tinatahak na raw po ngayon.
Tingin ko hindi eh. Dahil una-una, balikan po natin, totoo ba yung SALN o hindi? Totoo ba nanumpa si Chief Justice Corona sa isang di kompleto at makatotohanang SALN? Yun yung kailangan sagutin. Hindi damaged goods. Dahil kung sasabihin mo damaged goods theory, that presumes na si Chief Justice Corona did not do anything wrong. Ang tanong, bakit hindi niya dineklara ng tama ang kanyang cash in bank? Bakit hindi niya dineklara ng tama sa tamang taon yung mga ari-arian na binili po niya? So, bakit sasabihin na damaged goods? No, there's no presumption that he is going to be acquitted. Ang tingin namin, sapat yung ebidensya po namin para patunayan na guilty po si Chief Justice Corona. Of course, that will be appreciated by the senator judges, no? Pero sa amin palagay, wala nga po sa hindi pa natin alam yung laman ng dollar accounts po niya, pero kung titignan po natin lang yung statements of assets and liabilities for 2010, talagang obvious kulang. Kung titignan po natin on a per year basis, kasi ang I think what we are forgetting, this is a yearly test of his SALN from 2002 up to 2010. And if you take the yearly test of the SALN, yearly babagsak po si Chief Justice Corona.
Sagutin lang natin yung ilang kaso na na-cite po ng defense sa kanilang press con at na-cite na rin po sa loob ng korte. Yung case ni DPWH ASEC Plato, yan ay authority for saying na simple negligence lang daw yung hindi pagdedeklara. Ang nangyari po kasi, para malaman ho ng publiko, sa kaso ng Plato, ang nangyari po dyan, dineclare po ni Yusek Plato yung wife niya ay may business interests, pero hindi niya po nilista yung pangalan. May manukan pala sila, may babuyan pala sila, may sanglaan din, at meron ding laundromat o laundry business. So hindi niya nilista po yun. So ang sabi po ng Supreme Court, yun ay simple negligence lang. Bakit po simple negligence? Dahil nilista naman niya ho yung negosyo ng kanyang wife pero hindi niya specify kung alin po yun. But it's also authority for the proposition na yung yung sinasabi kasi ng depensa pwede mong i-correct eh. Sinabi ng Supreme Court dun sa kasong Plato, you cannot correct it if it refers to the substance. Pwede mo lang i-correct pagka timeliness ang pinag-uusapan, yung issue ng timeliness. So pagka substance ang pinag-uusapan, pag may naumit ka, hindi nyo pwedeng i-correct ho yun. Yun ang importante because in the case of Chief Justice, klarong-klaro na hindi niya dineklara for many years po yun. At I'd like to cite 2 more cases po decided by the Supreme Court. Yung kaso po ng Office of the Ombudsman versus Ratcho, that's January 2011 case. Si Ratcho ay isang chief ng Special Investigation Division ng BIR. Meron siyang hindi idineklarang bank account ng 5.8 million. Ang depensa po niya ay hindi niya pera yon. Does that sound familiar? At gagamitin po sa isang negosyo ng kanyang mga kamag-anak. I'm sure that also sounds familiar. And yet, he was convicted of dishonesty dahil ang sinabi po ng Korte Suprema, yung hindi pagdedeklara ng bank account na yon na 5.8 million ay isang kaso ng dishonesty o pagsisinungaling. So he was inapprove po ng Supreme Court yung pagkakadismiss po sa kanya sa government service. Pangalawang kaso na gusto nating i-cite, yung kaso ng Flores versus Montemayor. Si Montemayor ay isang BIR employee din doon at nung meron siyang 2 sasakyan na hindi niya dineklara nung taong 2001. Isang Land Cruiser, isang Ford Expedition. And yet, dineklara niya po yon in the years 1999 and 2000. So isang taon lang niya hindi na ideklara and yet tinanggal po siya sa serbisyo. Just for not declaring it for 1 year. Ano pa kaya yung kay Chief Justice? Kasi 5 years na niya hindi dineklara po yung Bonnie Ridge, yung columns, at for 1 year hindi niya dineklara yung Bellagio, if I'm not mistaken. Ano? So clearly, sabi nga ni Senator Santiago dati, we must cite cases that must be in point. So kung mas in point palagay namin yung sinasabi ng prosecution itong Flores at saka Ratcho kaysa sa case ni Plato. Because the case of Plato refers to his wife's businesses na hindi niya inilista. So simple negligence lang po yun. Pero yung case of actual omissions, yung Plato is not a case of omission. Wala siyang, hindi yung kaso ng nakalimutan niyang isulat po yung kanyang business interests. Whereas yung case po ng Ratcho at saka yung case na Flores versus Montemayor ay more similar to the case of the Chief Justice kung saan nag-omit po ng ilang mga ari-arian.
Tsaka I think it's time for us to fall out of the trap of the defense, which is to absolutely trivialize yung SALN. Na sinasabi, kinukumpara nilang bawat isa na ang omission lang ni Chief Justice ay yung wala doon yung acquisition cost. Hindi po. Hindi niya dineclare for at least 6 years yung kanyang 3 condominiums. Hindi niya dineclare ang kanyang 31 million na na-uncover po. At higit sa lahat, up to today, yung kanyang dollar accounts patuloy po niyang tinatago. That's the significance of what is happening today.
May 2, 1989, on the request of Jose M. Alejandrino.
Mark, you are going to mark it as what?
As Exhibit 182, Your Honor.
Mark it accordingly. Prosecution? You have any objection?
None, Your Honor.
For the next Supreme Court resolution, Your Honor, we mark as Exhibit 183, and this refers to the resolution dated September 22, 1992, in AM number 92-9-851-RTC.
Mark it accordingly.
And as our next exhibit, Your Honor, is this resolution of the Supreme Court in Bank dated November 11, 1993, in AM number 92-9-851-RTC.
Mark it accordingly.
Thank you, Your Honor. We are now, may I now call on our next counsel, Your Honor, to present our next witnesses. May I request that Attorney Noel Lazaro be recognized.
Attorney Noel Lazaro is recognized, and he can propound the questions to the defense witnesses. Where's your witness?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Your Honor, Mr. President, Mr. Presiding Officer, and the honorable members of this impeachment court. I am Attorney Noel B. Lazaro, Your Honor, a member of the defense panel of Mr. Chief Justice Renato C. Corona. I am tasked to present our next witness, Your Honor, in the person of Attorney Randy Rotacchio, Your Honor. He is the Randy A. Rotacchio.
Rotacchio.
He is the Registrar of Deeds of Taguig City, Your Honor.
R-O-T-A-R-I-O?
R-U-T-A-Q-U-I-O, Your Honor.
Okay. Call the witness in and swear him to testify in this court.
We've sent for someone already, Your Honor, to fetch the witness.
All right. We'll wait a few minutes.
May we ask for a couple of seconds, Your Honor? Please.
No need. We'll wait for him.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Please raise your right hand, Mr. Witness. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this impeachment proceeding?
Yes, Madam.
So help you God.
Your Honor, please may we ask if the private prosecutor is already present.
Your Honor, I'm Jose Benjamin Panganiban, respectfully appearing as private prosecutor under the direction and control of the Honorable Public Prosecutors.
Thank you, Panyero. With the kind indulgence of the Honorable Court, Your Honor, the testimony of the witness is being offered to prove the following. Number one, that condominium certificate of title number 164-201-000-0062 issued to spouses Cristina Corona and Renato Corona on January 25, 2010 by the Registry of Deeds of Taguig City, condominium certificate of title number 164-201-000-0063 issued to spouses Cristina Corona and Renato Corona by the Registry of Deeds of Taguig City, condominium certificate of title number 164-201-000-0064 issued to spouses Cristina Corona and Renato Corona by the Registry of Deeds of Taguig City, and condominium certificate of title number 164-201-000-0065 issued to spouses Cristina Corona and Renato Corona by the Registry of Deeds for Taguig City. All of these titles, Your Honor, were issued on January 25, 2010, and these titles are collectively known as the Bellagio property.
They're all
issued.
pertain to the Bellagio condominium unit.
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Okay.
And that having been issued on such date, the same has been timely and accurately declared in the SALN or the Statement of Assets, Liabilities, and Net Worth of Chief Justice Renato C. Corona, Your Honor.
When you say accurately, what do you mean by that?
These were declared in the Statement of Assets and Liabilities and Net Worth of the Chief Justice, Your Honor.
According to the form?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
The SALN reflects the assessed value, the fair market value, and the acquisition cost.
Only the assessed value and fair market value as determined, Your Honor, by the filer of the SALN, Your Honor.
The acquisition cost is not reflected?
It is not reflected, Your Honor. However, the deed of absolute sale, which is a duly notarized document, was publicly disclosed, Your Honor, and filed before a government agency, more particularly the Office of the Registry of Deeds of Taguig City, and the same deed of absolute sale, Your Honor, was also considered by the Bureau of Internal Revenue, a government agency, which assessed, Your Honor, the corresponding taxes on this particular transaction, Your Honor.
The SALN did not call for the reflection of acquisition cost of the real property involved.
There was, I understand, Your Honor, a column on acquisition cost, Your Honor.
But it was not, that is blank.
It was, however, left blank, Your Honor.
All right. Proceed.
May I say something, Your Honor?
Yes.
For just a minute. I understand, Your Honor, that this witness was also our witness. And I'd like to inquire from the distinguished counsel, will this witness testify on matters which were not covered by his testimony when we presented him as our own witness?
Thank you, Pinero. Your Honor, please, if I am allowed to finish the purposes of the offer, Your Honor, it will become apparent that there will be new matters that the witness will testify on, Your Honor.
We submit, Your Honor.
Let the counsel for the defense proceed.
May I proceed, Your Honor? The testimony of the witness is also being offered to prove that, along with the issuance of the titles I have just mentioned, there were underlying or relevant documents in his office, more particularly the deed of absolute sale and the certificate authorizing registration pertaining to this Bellagio property. As a second purpose, Your Honor, the testimony of the witness is being offered also to prove that a transfer certificate of title number 2093-P registered under the name of Maria Charina R. Corona was issued by the Registry of Deeds of or for the Taguig City on October 23, 2008, and that along with this transfer certificate of title, there are relevant documentations to support this, more particularly the deed of absolute sale entered into by and between Mega World Corporation and Maria Charina R. Corona, dated October 21, 2008, as well as a special power of attorney signed by Maria Charina R. Corona in favor of her parents, Renato C. Corona and or Maria Cristina R. Corona, to be her true and lawful attorneys, in fact, among others, to purchase and register a parcel of land, particularly described as lot number 1, block number 16, phase number 2, in McKinley Hill subdivision. This special power of attorney, Your Honor, was executed and duly authenticated before the Consulate General of the Philippines located in San Francisco, California, represented by Consul Arvic V. Arevalo on September 15, 2008.
What is the relevance to this impeachment trial of that property in the name of Tsarina Corona?
These documents, Your Honor, are being offered to prove that the fact that this property was not included in any of the SALN of the Chief Justice because it is in fact owned by another person under the name of Maria Tsarina R. Corona, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Lastly, Your Honor, the testimony of the witness being offered to prove such other relevant matters as may be applicable to the defense of Mr. Chief Justice Renato C. Corona, Your Honor, please.
Proceed.
May I proceed, please, Your Honor? Good afternoon, Attorney Rutacchio.
Good afternoon, sir.
This is not the first time that you testified
Yes, sir.
before the Honorable Impeachment Court, correct?
Yes, sir.
You have testified before when you were called upon by the House Panel Prosecution.
Yes,
Is
Your
that
Honor.
correct? Your Honor, without manifestation, may we ask for confirmation or stipulation from good counsel whether he is willing to stipulate as to the position, qualification, competency, and functions of the witness. Your
Are you
Honor?
adopting the testimony of this witness based on the direct examination of the prosecution?
Your Honor, please. No, Your Honor.
No.
There will be
variance.
There will be variance, Your Honor, but I don't think there will be variance as to the position, Your Honor, being held by the witness, along with his functions and responsibilities.
We will gladly stipulate on that, Your Honor.
Prosecution, what is your pleasure?
We stipulate, Your Honor, on the qualifications of this
You
witness.
agree with the prayer? Do you mutually agree regarding the competence of this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Noted.
Yes. Mr. Witness, part of the functions of your office is the issuance of relevant titles to buyers of certain properties. Would you confirm that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And before your office issues a definite title on a particular application, are there any other documents that your office requires from applicants?
Yes, sir. Actually, there are certain documentary requirements, such as the submission of the original title, the owner's duplicate title, the original deed of conveyance or sale, and the tax declaration, the tax clearance from the local government, and then the certificate authorizing registrations from the Bureau of Internal Revenue.
Do you require any other evidence of mode of acquisition between parties or among parties?
Yes, sir. If it is a corporation, if one of the parties or both parties are corporations, then we require the submission of the Secretary's certificate or board resolution. If there is also, if one of the parties is represented by an attorney in fact, then we would require a special power of attorney.
You have testified before when you were called by the prosecution and identified certain documents. I am showing you this document previously marked as Exhibit BB, which is a condominium certificate of title number 164-201-000-0065, issued to spouses Cristina Corona and Renato Corona by the Registry of Deeds for Taguig City under the name Randy A. Rutacchio, Registrar of Deeds. Please kindly go over this document and just tell us or confirm whether that is the same document that you testified earlier.
This is a common evidence on the part of the prosecution and the defense. So we admit the existence and genuineness, authenticity of this document.
I understand that, Your Honor, but we will just ask the witness to reconfirm it because there will be submarkings that we are going to ask, Your Honor. May I proceed, please, Your Honor?
Yes, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can I have the answer, please? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. This is the same document.
And that document was issued when, Mr. Witness?
It was issued on January 25, 2010.
May we ask, Your Honor, that this document previously marked as Exhibit AA